Hi, Bill here with 30-Minute Woodshop. Thanks for joining. So today I want to show you how to make an apartment-sized herb shelf. You know, something you could, yeah, not those kind of herbs, guys. Something you put on, small pots for growing basil and, leaf lettuce and those kind of things over the winter. So my son moved out of the house. He got it. He graduated, got his degree, graduated, got a job, and moved out in an apartment. And he's taken up cooking, and one of the things he wants to do is he wants to have fresh herbs over the winter. To do that, of course, he needs some place to do that, and like any apartment, while he has one window, it's not a big enough window to do much with. So we're going to take this pile of wood, right, and we're going to turn this into a quick herb shelf so that he can put this out there, either put it in front of the window or he can put a grow light on it and grow some small herbs, basil and rosemary and those kind of things, so that he can have fresh herbs when he's cooking. All right? So, like always, go down here to 30minutewoodshop.com, right? And you can find a dimension sketch. All right? Now, these look like drawings, but let me tell you, they're not. These are sketches. And you can make this project pretty quickly and easily. All right, it's really not more than a couple of pieces of board that are nailed together. I'm doing some things here that you might want to consider doing because I'm going to use dados in these things. All right, the reason I'm doing that is because when I cut these dados, it's going to add some strength to keep the whole thing from shifting side to side. We'll see how that works out. It should be good enough. If it's not, I may have to add a couple of little braces or something like that to keep it steady. Anyway. Go down there at 30minutewoodshop.com. You can find that. You can go down here too and hit more, and there will be links to some of the tools I use and those kind of things, along with a link to the blog, and you can check that out. All right? So let's talk about materials. I'm using 1x5s. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. They used to sell 1x6s, and you can still find them, but like anything, they keep cheapening things up and shrinking things. These are 1x5s. All right? Now, a couple things. For those who are not familiar with dimensioned lumber, dimensioned lumber is when it says 1x5 or 1x6 or 1x8 or whatever, that is not the actual dimension. The actual dimensions are something less, sometimes substantially less. All right? So these are 1x5s, nominal. What that means is they're about 3/4 of an inch thick, and they're 4 3/8 wide, so they're not even a full. Getting pretty bad. Let's just put it that way. These are made in Sweden. All right, so I understand probably like a shipping cost, and you cut a little bit when you cut an inch off the damn thing and ship it, you're saving a lot of cubage. Let me just tell you, you can sell these a lot more boards. That being said, I'm using 1x5s. You can use 1x6s. I would not go ahead and use 1x8s. The problem with as you get bigger, you want to put bigger pots on there. And this really isn't designed for big pots. This is designed for those 2-inch, 3-inch pots that you put your herbs in and let them grow, or you put those ones that are like 3 inches wide and maybe 8 or 10 inches long, and you can put in leaf lettuce and those kind of things. It's not made for a heavy pot, so do not do that. I'll do one on a bigger shelf if that's something you want. Let me know. So, what I have here is, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foot 1x5s. And I can't tell you how much it irks me when I say 1x5. It's just, anyway, these are finished on 4 size, S4S. That makes them very easy for me to use and sand. I don't have to worry about them. So 30 lineal feet. This is convenient for me because my dimensions right now, I'm looking at something that's going to be 6 foot by 3 foot roughly. All right. So I got 2 of these for the sides, and I got 2 of these right for I cut them in half, 3 foot each. I got 4 shelves. Then I got 1 more left over. A couple things I can do with it. I'm going to do that because it's only 4 inches wide. I need to put some kind of foot on this thing to keep it from falling forward or backward. All right. So I'm going to use this last one for a couple things. One, I'm going to put a toe kick in there in the bottom just to give it a little stability, and then keep things from going under. And I'm also going to use, I'm going to cut a couple of feet so this thing doesn't tip over. Not much. It's going to be maybe a couple 12 inches, so you stick out 6 inches either side. But just enough so when you're up there at the 6 foot level, this thing isn't swaying in the breeze. Okay? Now, let's start cutting. All right, as always, be sure you read and follow all safety directions. Make sure you're using safety glasses, hearing protection. You want to come out of this when you're 75 or 80, be able to hear and see, all right? I know for some guys, when I was younger, I didn't always do that. So make sure you follow those rules, and you'll be doing much better when you're my age. All that said, what I have set up here, all I've done is mark this off at 3 feet, put both of them up. What that does is ensure that I have identical cuts. My pieces are identical in terms of length, which makes my assembly much, much easier. So always try and do that. Let's cut. So I selected my 2 best pieces for straightness, warp, cup, twist, all that stuff, and that's these 2. Yeah, what can I say? Some of these shells are a little cupped and a little weird. We'll work through that here in a little bit. But yes, so when you're selecting your wood for this, go for things that are as flat and straight and not twisted, cupped, or warped. All right, so make your job as easy as possible. These things have been sitting around here for quite some time, and they were kind of like, I don't want to say trash wood, but they were not wood that was intended to be used for something like this. So I got to work through this, but it's not a problem. We can do it. What I'm doing now is I have to do my layout. So to go to the drawing, now I'll say this about drawings, about sketches. Make this your own. If you want a little bit wider, a little bit shorter, a little bit narrow, taller, whatever. I wouldn't go too much wider because you're at 3 feet. And the problem with being at 3 feet is that the load carrying capacity of these shelves beyond that is you'll end up with a big warp in it. So you probably don't want to do that. If anything, you're going to make it a little smaller, like 2.5 feet or something. If you do want to go to 3 feet, you're going to have to use some type of support in the center. That's all. So it's pretty easy to do. Just put a support in the center. You're good to go. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and mark these points, all right, vertically, where I'm going to cut my my dados. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And again, if you don't want your shelves equally spaced or you want something different, go right ahead, man. Be happy and do that. First one's going to be at 3 inches. I talk about having combination squares. This happens to be a sterret. Guys, they'll last you forever. Hey, there's my son. This is the guy. Come on over here, man. He's bringing the trash up for me.
Oh, geez, I'm in a video now.
Yes, you are. Maybe.
It's all over. I'm on the internet.
So this is the guy I'm building it for. So good to see you. I'll be with you in 1 second.
You're good.
So as I said, sterret. Got to have a sterret or something equally good, because when you're talking about doing layouts in squares, this is how you do it. Now, all I'm going to do is take across both pieces, make sure that the ends are equal on the bottom. Strike the line all the way across. That way I know for a fact that my line is consistent. So whatever you do, that way I know my line is the same and my points are the same. And there we go. Easy as pie. So now we got to go ahead and do this. I'm going to set my router up, so I'm going to route these things out. Okay, all I've done here is I've set up some fences that are set back from the edge 1 7/8 of an inch, which is the distance between the edge of the cutter, my 3/4 inch cutter, and the edge of my foot here, my base. All right. So all I have to do now, and I have this set now for 3/8 of an inch thick, so it's going to be 3/8. That's halfway through 3/4. So I'll cut halfway through. I'll be able to do that for each one of these. And now if you notice, I have both of these things clamped together. So I'm cutting them simultaneously, which means that the slots are going to be identical left to right. In other words, I don't have to set up for one and then go back and set up for the other one, and there might be a slight difference. This way, they're all exactly the same. Okay? Now, let's do some cutting here with the router. Okay, now it's time to sand. Now, I'm using 220 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander. The reason being is that these are S4S, right? They're surfaced four sides. So these are already fairly nice. All I got to do is take a little bit of roughness out, get them a little smoother, so they're ready for paint. Let's sand. All right, starting the assembly process. Because this is a bigger piece and my bench isn't quite big enough, I got it strung out. But all I'm doing is putting the shelves in, making sure that they are squared up. And I put a piece down here, so when I roll it over, if it's not in really tight, it won't fall out. So as I continue through this, I'm going to drop some nails in it too, because the nails will help hold it together. They're really, rather than keep the clamps on it, it'll just help hold the whole thing together and keep it all square. So didn't come out exactly square. So what I've done is I put a couple of clamps here, cross clamps, and I've jacked it back into position. Now, in doing that, because everything's so nice and tight, once I put it back into square, it's holding with no problem at all. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to put some nails along these edges just to hold everything together while it dries. And then I'm going to throw in my toe kick down here, which is going to help it keep it square also. And then I'm going to come up here, and I think I'm going to put a bracket or two at the very top just to make sure that the top stays square also. So let's get busy doing that. Everything's been assembled. Now what I want to do is I want to take my router and just do a quick routing around the edges and soften things up a little bit before we finish. Okay, this project is done. Now, I really love my kids because when I give them stuff like this, I don't have to finish it. So I've given them a couple opportunities and options to do that. I am going to provide some paint and stuff for my son to finish this off, but he said he would do that. So this is all sanded off, ready to rock. And I have to say, it's turned out pretty well. A few little things didn't work out exactly the way I wanted, but pretty darn close. This, I would say this, the wood was a little twisted here and there, so I've had to do a little extra work. One thing I would say is when you're picking your wood, make sure you do you select the straightest, flattest wood you can find. I was using stuff I had laying around here, so one piece was a little cupped. Had to do a little work on that one, but other than that, this turned out really well. It's exactly what my son wanted. It's got plenty of strength, so he can put all kinds of plants on it, you know, for his herb garden, and I think he's going to be very happy with it. So like always, go down here, 30minutewoodshop.com, and you can go ahead and find a set of dimension sketch for this. If you hit more, you can find a link to my blog on 30minutewoodshop.com. You can also find some of the tools and things that I use. You click on those, you might find something interesting there, because if you're like me, tools are cool. But hey, hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, folks, good making.